everyone thinks high ticket is just one-on-one, right? Everyone thinks high ticket is just high level one-on-one mentorship, and it's not.
What do you think? In an industry full of people who have everything locked in about this has to be this way, and everybody's talking about high ticket, it sounds like you have completely different perspectives about the whole thing.
Only because I've experienced the other side of it. So, we've talked lots on this podcast. I've talked lots for years about the extent of my burnout
Mhm.
of like chasing one-to-one clients, chasing back-to-back calls. Oh, scarfing down a couple crackers because next thing you know, my next call's starting. Like I've had that reality. That was not the fit. That was not the route because we know like I desire to build from quality. And I firmly believe that when you're building from quality, you output quality and the results are more of a higher quality place. And hello, we're all human beings living a life while we build these missions. And I want to look back when I'm 80, 90, 110 and be like, damn, like I took care of myself. I felt good every step of the way. And I did something epic with my life. So for me, it was like, how can I deliver high touch, high quality results, but
Mhm.
not be on these back to back one on one calls? And that's where high ticket revolving door spaces, client experiences came to life. And that's where a lot of our clients are when they find us. Some of them, they're still newer in their journey of being a coach. They're pre 10K, and some of them are
Mhm.
30K and still chasing their tail. And how else can I do this? Right. And you get it.
Yep.
We've all seen it. So for me, that was a really big gap, a huge industry gap that I saw right away. Like, why isn't anybody doing this? Right? Why are we relying on open and close launch? We're relying so much on our human to keep this business going when really you put the right business model in place and you put the right, strategies behind it from a marketing perspective, from an offer delivery perspective and a sales perspective, and suddenly you get to relax. You get to lean back, right? You don't always have to be leaning in and outputting, so to speak. So that was a really big shift for me.
Should we just get into it? Should we just bust the door wide open on how to high ticket
Yeah.
programs, like the way that you do this revolving door launch? Like seeing it so full dimensional instead of this like linear thing of like we're doing it, we're not doing it, we're doing it, we're not doing it.
Right.
It's like keeping it open and keeping the energy open and the reception to abundance flowing at all
Mhm.
time, right?
Absolutely. And what I also love too, yes, the energy of abundance, because it also, to me, speaking from my experience and watching, over 100 people now go through that same experience, when you're when you're consistently marketing towards something and you're showing up, either you're passively talking about it, you're just simply representing the outcome of the work that you're doing, you are directly selling it, whatever that looks like, whatever season you're in, whatever day of the week it is, really, your audience is consistently being warmed up. So we all know, right? Let's get really strategic here for a second.
Do it.
You've got your cold, you've got your warm, you've got your hot audience, right? And it's always evolving if you're marketing appropriately and if you know how to market appropriately. So your cold is always becoming warm, your warm is always becoming hot, and your hot should be buying. So as that happens, though, you're also generating growth in your account and new leads. So like you're getting new cold members, right? And then those are going to warm, warm to hot, so on. So it should be continuously evolving. And that's where a lot of your growth is going to take place. Now, if you have a business model that is reliant 100% on you and you being on and hands on 24/7, you're going to reach a lot of bottlenecks. You're going to
Mhm.
have to hire a big team. You're going to have higher overhead. It's just the way it has to go. Like I've scaled both ways. So that's a big one. So for me, it was like, okay, if we know we have people always coming in, we know we're always engaging with them, nurturing them, warming them up, and converting them, how easy this could be to just be consistently talking about 1 to 2 spaces that you have and letting them see themselves in it, letting that be the place that they want to go. And this is why I always say you go from being a coach to a highly paid leader when you stop chasing your tail, when you actually have the energy to show up in conviction and to do so repetitively. So
Yeah.
that's big. That's so big. So revolving door spaces, is that what we want to get right into?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And just like you said, like what it means to be this highly paid leader, going
Mhm.
beyond the job title of like, oh, I'm a coach. Like, what do you tell your family at Thanksgiving? And really stepping into the embodiment of who you want to be and how you want to show up.
I love that. And it is so much of it is how you see yourself. And if you see yourself as living on back-to-back calls, burning out, doing so much work, but still barely getting by, you are going to continuously be seeing yourself as that and projecting that outward. You're also always going to be showing up assuming you have to be creating a new offer, launching something, dropping something new, teasing them, creating some sort of excitement and hype in your audience so that they want to buy instead of just being that. Like,
Yeah.
be the representation, be the hype, be the outcome. Make it so freaking clear that every single time they consume your content, they're like, wow, every single thing that this person represents is what I want, is what I desire, meets my values. We're always investing from value, like our values. That's another topic. But that just makes your selling so much more simple.
Hmm.
And that's where I'll hear is like, wow, like it gets to be this easy. It gets to be this simple. And you start to become known for things, known for your programs, known for certain outcomes, known for frameworks that you use within your clients or your spaces, depending on your niche, depending what you're doing, what services you're offering. But that's where you really do go from, baby coach to consistently highly paid and being a leader in the industry. And I think that watching clients go from that, like I get to like truly watch that transformation take place is one of my favorite parts in doing this work together, So you really do see so much shift as you obviously upgrade your identity, change the way you see yourself, how you speak, how you recognize your own spaces. And then obviously as you normalize and become familiar with higher ticket sales and they start to feel neutral for you too. I know we talked about that a little bit last week.
All the time, over and over and over.
Over and over.
So yeah, we'll
Gee.
definitely get back again, as we always do, into the energetics, who you're being, who you're becoming. But
Yeah.
let's go ahead and pull the curtain back a little bit on the how to high ticket. Like, what do these high ticket offers look like in your world? Like, give us an example of a client who came to you in this frantic energy of, oh, gotta launch this, gotta launch that, maybe a million different smaller offers, and how you were able to simplify and streamline their business so that they were able to create more revenue with less burnout.
Absolutely. I mean, I could write a book series, I think, but let's start with, I see this a lot, obviously, in each industry, but let's go to the health and hormone space. I serve and support so many practitioners, whether you're, specific in just hormones, whether you're in nutrition, holistic living, there's a lot of different variations of practitioners that I serve. But one specifically that I see time and time again is that they think they need, a new program every single month, that they need to run that program and then already be masterminding and brainstorming their next program because we can't let the income dip. They're experiencing anywhere from 4 to 14K months, and it is that extreme. It's up and down, right? This month might be 4K, next month might be 16, and it's going to continue to evolve. And then they're going to be from there, like, sorry, the doorbell rang. I don't know if you heard that. It like threw me off, but no. So from there, it's like, okay, well, how do I stop this? How do I get some consistency? How do I create safety for myself as a human being? How can I actually allow that to take place? She comes in and, let's call her Betty because we always call her Betty. And just like, I have no safety. I have no consistency. I don't really know what I should be doing differently. I don't know really where to focus, but my nervous system is done. I'm reaching burnout, which is obviously the opposite of what most practitioners are supporting and wanting to represent. And you just reach this point where, I hear the words like everything feels really misaligned, which is obvious. And it's wanting that dependability from your business. And oftentimes that comes from our level of responsibility that we're willing to show up in. So am I willing to be responsible enough to make the decisions needed to create these feelings and these outcomes for myself? And this is where a lot of obviously your self-leadership will come in because it can be scary. Like let's put that out there too. It can be really intimidating. It can be very scary, very uncomfortable to completely shift your business model, to completely shift the way that you're delivering business, to go from offering one type of service or your service is one type of way to really shifting the way you're delivering that. And I watch that, right? All the limiting beliefs surface or the what ifs, how would this happen? And I remember having them myself too. I'm sure you can
Totally.
kind of recall some.
Totally.
Yeah. So with this specific client, Miss Betty, this was about, okay, well, what's something you're consistently walking your clients through? It's usually in her one-on-one setting. And I said, this is where you turn that transformation, that experience into a high ticket revolving door space. So if you know that your industry, specifically your audience, has a need for this experience and you know you're going to be walking clients through this experience again and again and again, why not become highly paid for that? Why not become highly known for that? So it's it's not about, just sticking a high price tag on it. It's actually sitting with, again, the word responsibility and results driven, and ask yourself, what does the client actually need to get that result? 9 times out of 10, they don't need weekly calls with just you. 9 times out of 10, you don't need to be burning yourself out the way you are, the way you assume you should be in order to be highly paid. It's more so making sure that they have exactly what they need to get exactly where they want to go in a timely manner that makes sense for that result. So for example, when I'm working with hormone clients, I came from the health space. So I'm already aware, like, okay, well, we need at least 4 months here, right? We need a couple cycles for women to go through to really start to experience and see these changes. So from here, again, she was launching all of these like just quick live group monthly programs. So one might be on skin, one might be on gut health, one might be on all sorts of different topics. And then she had her one-on-one experience. So I said, let's turn what you're walking them through. She now had this huge vault of videos anyways, because she had ran all these programs. I said, you're going to extract what you have, right? That is a part of this experience. And you're going to then create the rest of the videos that are needed. And the videos of what the client needs to know so they can get where they want to go is done. You've now got this vault, this curriculum. We call ours our curriculum. Curriculum. They're going to go through it. And alongside the teachings, the learning what they don't yet know, the understanding of it, maybe you've got prompts in there, maybe you've got tools, resources, recipes, breath works. Also, just depends what you're doing. Depends what you're supporting them with. Whatever the client actually needs, not what you want the client to have. Okay. What the client actually needs. Remember, they don't need 15 million meditations. They don't want 1,700 journal prompts. They want to move. They want to see a result. What do they need? And how can you make sure you are clearly communicating that to them in a way that will help them understand to see it differently, right? To then take action on it and to have an example to move forward. And so once you have that and you figure out how many touch points does the client need? So in this case, she was like, well, I think they really only need to talk to me every 2 weeks. Okay, well, that makes more sense. And I think I could do it in small group settings. So now we're talking about cohorts within her experience. And okay, do they need communication with you Monday to Friday or between in the week? She's like, I think Tuesday to Thursday I could have office hours where they can drop in the group chat and I can answer them and, support them to keep them moving. Wonderful. We thoroughly thought through exactly what this client was going to need in order to get what they wanted, which is, hello, why we're all investing.
Totally.
And it's something that just watching the way she shifted, that was all we did this all in her kickoff call. So all within 2 hours. And watching the way that she shifted to be like, wow, I'm really proud of this. This is something I'm really behind. This is something I can feel really strong selling. She became a whole different woman.
Game changer, yeah.
From coach to leader, right? And she's like, this is like, I just get to show up and create different forms of content to help them see this. And obviously using our content pillars that we teach them, but that was an absolute game changer. And it's so beautiful to watch when they go from like, oh, what do I have to create next? Oh my gosh, another launch. Like, where should I start in a launch plan? And how much just all of the worry, the what ifs, the pressure to, wow, like I've created something that creates radical change in someone's life. And I get to own that, speak into that, give them examples. And it's really freeing. And when you are that behind it, you have no problem understanding the value of that exchange.
Totally. And then you can raise prices and charge what it's really worth.
Charge what it's actually worth. You're not charging from scarcity. You're not worried about beta pricing and early bird pricing and making sure that you've got this discount and this discount and this bonus and this bonus. Your client actually doesn't care about the bonus. The woman that's ready to invest, the human that's ready to invest, doesn't actually care about the bonus.
Yeah.
They actually want to just trust that you're going to help them get what they want. And I can think about myself.
Transformation of the whole thing.
The
Yeah.
whole thing.
It's not
I'm
about
like,
the add-ons.
I don't care about more noise, more things to do. Just what do I need to get here where I want to go? And yeah, I would say every client's program experience is obviously different, but this is kind of, let's just keep going in Betty's example because this allowed her to, I don't remember, don't quote me on exactly what she was charging for it. I want to say it was around the 4K mark. So she went from selling $400 offers to 4K offers, first of all, biggest transformation there.
Quick 10X.
Quick. And she was now working Tuesday to Thursday. We got her, there was a whole bunch we did on that kickoff call, but obviously like restructured the way her calendar was set up, her, business structures were set up, really got her clear on her messaging, really got her clear on not just like going viral, but how to take her content and now actually sell from it and create sales and conversion from her content. Within that month, obviously we created the program, did a soft launch for it, let her audience know what was coming, what she was doing, what this meant for them, all of the good stuff. stuff. And within that first month, she had hit 10K. Within 6 weeks, she was selling 10K packages. Now her private became
Oh
10K,
shit.
right? So now she's got this 4K offer and a 10K offer. And she's sending me a message. She's like, I'm sitting by the pool and I just sold a 10K offer. Like, is this girl math? Like, I'm having so much fun. I'm like, yes, this is girl math because now you actually have the space to receive. One. Two, you understand why you can receive that. You feel worthy of receiving that because you see your business so differently when you're not constantly chasing your own tail and you're set up as a company. So it was really big. She's now at 30K months, just so everybody knows.
Hell yeah.
It's just so beautiful to see how much time she's gotten back, to see her doing things that she actually wants to do on a daily basis, having her slow mornings like she wanted, having her Mondays and Fridays to herself and long weekends, being able to actually be a woman and be a business owner and be a practitioner. And it's honestly life-changing, as you can imagine. So that's just, one of the ways that I would say that you can stop busying yourself. And when you start to see the value behind higher ticket approaches and you start to see yourself as somebody who can deliver those, you change the whole game. You change the whole game.
Whole game. Yeah, it's crazy to see like they all compound with each other because it's like she gets that time back and then that time goes into herself and then she becomes able to lead better, create more impact in her own life, create more impact in her clients' lives. More people come in and it's just like this very virtuous cycle that all starts with seeing yourself in that place. And as you said, as you just broke down, like building a business model that actually aligns with that instead of not knowing who you are, not knowing how you want to show up and not knowing how it's going to work and then trying to just like run around from all those three places. So tell us about, so you mentioned a couple of times, so for anybody who's like new to your world, what's the
Yeah.
kickoff call? What kind of stuff happens on that call? What kind of stuff typically comes up? And why is it such a powerful process for you and your business?
This is a kickoff call is to me a must. It's a must, a non-negotiable. So it's where we schedule out, depends on the program you're coming into, but we schedule out usually 1 to 2 hours. And this is what I call a VIP intensive. We have, a Google Doc system that we support the client with. So you were on Zoom, kind of like you and I right now, and we've got your business sheet up. And this is yes, we go into the energetics and we make sure we're fusing magic into everything. Like, hello, look at just the magic we were able to create for Betty. Like you start to really feel that. And we start at the top and we work our way through. What is your business? First of all, what are you doing? Who are you serving? What is the mission at heart? Okay, great. How are we delivering that? What are your offers like? What are your price points like? How are you delivering it? What is your week like? What if this is aligned? What if it's not? And is this in support of the overall vision? Or was this built from a place of scarcity because it was, well, everyone else is doing this, I have to make money. How can I make money? And that's where we will either create a whole new structure and kind of take bits and pieces of what you've got, restructure and just tweak the way that certain things are running. Or some people are just starting fresh, right? So it really just depends. So we go through that whole process. Okay, what does the client need? What would work? I'm often really prompting the client to really just, obviously, this is your zone of genius. I'm going to pull that out of you. I'm going to make sure that this is set up in a way that's going to support your clients, their result, what you know is true, but also is going to make sense for the lifestyle that you want to be living. Because this whole, like, you can't have it all is such a joke. You really, truly can have it all when you're so strategic about it and intentional. So once we work through that, it's all about your marketing, your messaging, your marketing, and your sales. So, obviously a lot of identity, a lot of mindset work infused in that, but it's also the strategic part. Let's make content simple and converting. Let's make your sales process actually feel good for you. Don't worry about what anybody else in the industry is doing. How do you want to make sales? What feels safe for you right now? What is a little bit of a stretch, but something you are fully behind? And we just consistently let these little parts evolve, right? I now used to be like, there was a time where I thought I had to be on an application call for a 20K package. Now I close them in my DMs. Like, these parts of our journey evolve, but I want to make sure that you can basically get off this intake call and hit the ground running. You know where to focus, what needs to be created, how you're viewing it. You feel really clear. Your head is screwed on straight, so to speak, and you can move. And that's why in a matter of days, I'm having clients be like, oh my gosh, people are already interested. I just sold 9K. Oh my gosh, this, like, momentum. Energy loves movement and speed. So it's like, why take 12 weeks in a group program to do what we can just did in 2 hours?
2 hours,
To
yeah.
me, it never made sense to watch people go through these group programs or to have mentors tell me like, well, just drag it out through a 12-week program. I'm like, I don't have have the patience for that. Like, I want to see them win. I just never, my mind could never go there. And obviously that was connected to like where my soul was guiding me in my zone of genius. But looking back, it's so fascinating to see even myself, how much time I once wasted thinking I had to have 3 months in order to create an offer. And we're doing it in 2 hours. So that was a deal breaker. I'm like, no, like this going forward is an absolute must. Even in our membership, we have where members can like just have one-time calls like this with me. Nobody, like I don't do them live. They're not like a public offer, but for our members, because I'm like, these calls are pivotal. Like you can radically shift the way something is going on in your business or the way you're doing something in your business in such a short period of time. So, some clients, they come to me with 1 to 3 areas that we already know we need to work on, but 9 times out of 10, we're working through the whole formula. And now they've got it. It's on a sheet. They exactly, they can anchor themselves back into it again and again.
Yeah, so it's really about that deep alignment from your identity to your messaging to your offer to the way that you're marketing it to the way that you're showing up and representing everything straight back up to the top or the bottom, however you want to look at it.
Yeah. And it's like without the boxing in of what's going on in the industry. Well, Sally and Joey Ann, they're doing this. And like I've seen someone do it. Cool. Wait, you don't even know if that's actually working.
Yeah.
Like marketing is marketing. Pull your head out of the sand for a second and connect to your vision. What are you doing and what are you going to do about it?
Absolutely. So for anybody listening to this who's like ears perked up, like, I want a VIP kickoff call. Who gets access to that within your business?
In my world, yeah. So all of my private clients, so whether you're coming into full private or Voxer only, again, because it's a must, it literally makes all the difference for our time together, as well as our mastermind clients. So inside of our membership, you don't, but obviously you can pay to add that. Our membership is such an accessible rate that it's nice to be able to give you guys those just kind of like special little up level options. Our members can add a series of calls. Our members can add Voxer only. Like there's so many little add-ons that I would never publicly market, but these are more of like the higher level spaces for obvious reasons. But I would never want to remove that from the lower spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. What would
Mm-hmm.
you say, like, are your offers geared out for different people based on where they are in their journey or like what they're focused on? Or like, how does that work coming into your world from these different places?
Yes. Oh, that's such a good question. Okay. This will probably be really supportive for a lot of you guys listening. Both. I'm like, where do I start? Because it's
Short
both.
answer, both.
Short answer. A little bit more detailed answer would say, obviously, we support a lot of what we do is scaling. A lot of what we do is women knowing, I want more. I've had a taste. I don't like how I'm tasting it. A little burnt out, a little salty. I want to sweeten the deal. I want more. I want more life. I want more of everything. I want to scale it all. But that comes from you can be at 4K months and know that you want so much more. You can be at 1K months and know that you already want so much more. Like you guys you listening, you're like, I know, because that feeling in your body. And I also have clients that are already, at 20K months and they know that they want more. So what I would best describe this as is our formulas go throughout all offers. They just kind of meet you where you're at. So 9 times out of 10, someone will DM me and I'm going to ask them a couple questions because then I actually know what makes sense for them and what's actually going to be the most supportive and results driven for them and meet them where they're at budget wise, right? I'm not here to tell you if you don't have 10K, you should invest it anyways. If you
Yeah.
have the resource available, I would definitely go towards higher, more proximity. You're going to get there faster. But I have a member right now actually in the membership and he's running 30 days to 50K. And it's like a challenge that he's on. So like no space is limiting you, but the membership is set up. Obviously it's very, very accessible. It's $197 a month. So anybody can jump in there. You can basically jump in there and use the one-on-one upgrades and make it more of a one-on-one experience, right? You can have as much proximity to me as you truly wish by utilizing the upgrades or just joining our 2 times a month calls and getting into the portal. And so that's obviously a lot of people that are, I would say, pre 10K or close to the 10K mark and just know that in the next year, they would like to get closer to 30K. But if you're a self-led person, for example, client in the membership right now is like, oh, no, like we're doing big numbers. I just feel like this is the type of support I want right now because I don't want private call. Like he just didn't want to have more on his calendar right now. I'm like, I respect the hell out of that. You know what you need, you know what you want, and you're also moving towards it. And so they can move up at any given time. Whereas our member or our mastermind story is very much for the person they're already posting to social media. They've already sold one-on-one packages.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe they've done a launch or two. They've realized what's for them, what's not for them. They just have no idea, like, how do I take what I'm doing and turn it into a more higher ticket, freedom-based approach that's very results driven. And that's where obviously the conversations are a bit bigger. We are meeting more regular, we're meeting weekly. It's a little bit more intimate. We do have Monday to Friday access to me behind the scenes in Voxer. Like it's very much a higher touch place for the person who knows, okay, if I'm doing this, we already know what we want. I want a lot of support. I know I'm going to have questions after these calls or before these calls. I know I'm going to want feedback when I'm posting content or support with my sales conversations behind the scenes. I already know I want those things. Well, then you already know, get into the mastermind.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What would you say? This is gonna be the tricky one. What would you
Mm,
say for the person who knows, but they don't know that they know? That person
mm,
is like, because there's some people who are like, I'm fucking there. It's
yeah.
happening. All I need is the pathway. Candace is the pathway. There's some
Yeah.
people who are like, I don't believe that this is possible for me, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna get there. But what about the people who are like right on that fence, who are like,
Mhm.
I know it's for me and I know it's happening, but I'm just like, for lack of a better word, scared. I'm scared to take the leap, scared to go all in. What would you say to them?
Well, that feeling will never, one, go away, right? We're always scared. We're always meeting ourselves. That's where the term is like meet yourself and like push through it, show yourself who you can truly be. But I think that's why I like having the application. And I think that's why I like being able to honestly just like be a human with you and have a conversation because I can ask you 1 to 3 questions and already know that you're going to need more support.
Mhm.
Or if you're like, I'm driven, I'm ready, this is already what I've done, this is where I'm going, and I'm going in, and they want to go into the membership, well, you're going to fly. Great. It is for more of the self-led person. But if you are newer, just showing up and you're scared, or, you don't know, let's just say you're not crystal clear on your marketing, you don't trust yourself to go 2 weeks of marketing without any feedback before the next membership call. Okay, well, then I would say get into the mastermind, right? Like it just makes sense to have my eyes in your business with you on a daily basis throughout the week and to start to regulate that for yourself, to start to feel more confident, to start to feel like this is more easeful. Wow, I really do know what I'm doing, to build that confidence, to stack that proof for yourself, but to have the feedback so you're also doing it in a way that's going to be really efficient, really results driven, and also make you feel a little bit more on top of the world because you're around other people that are doing really big shit.
Yeah, and it's always like that too. I love the stories of the morphogenic fields about like the one that always comes up is like the 4 minute mile. Everyone's like, it
Yeah.
can't be done. The human body can't anatomically handle running a 4 minute mile. And then Roger Bannister runs it, shouts out. And then within the year, it's like high schoolers are doing it. Like everybody, people all around the world are doing it because the idea that it's not possible was shattered. And then
Yeah.
from that place, everything became possible for everybody who saw themselves in it. So would you say that's like a big part of like what people get out of this mastermind is being in that space?
Huge. Like you're not only getting the clarity of like, right, like this is my path. I don't have to worry about what anybody else is doing. You're becoming a business owner. You're not just a baby coach anymore.
Mm.
So you're getting that certainty, that confidence. But imagine having that paired with the proof on a daily basis that people are selling out 20K packages, 10K packages, 8K sales, right? Hey, help me do this 10K sale conversation. Sure. Okay. And we're workshopping it together in a group chat where everybody is in the conversation together.
Mhm.
And you're like, well, I could do that. Okay, this doesn't feel so scary. Okay, suddenly I'm open to that. Oh wow, now that I'm open to it, they're landing in my DMs. Hey, I'm next. Let's have a conversation about this. What have you guys done? And it's just so life-changing. Proximity, proximity, proximity is everything. And I think that's why I love my business model so much. It's so easy. We've got the membership, we've got the mastermind, or you've got private. It's not complex. Like you get what you need. And you also can either move up as you go, or you can just like dive right in and be, yeah, the best. Like you've said it, one of the things, the best student. Take
Yeah.
it all, in, absorb it, run, like, yeah, lead your mission.
Can you tell us some stories about maybe in the last week or two where things that like that have come up in the mastermind and you or other members have helped people work through stuff, shift stuff, and then get to where they were headed, like and just like, oh my God, this mastermind experience is doing it for me.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, every day. I would say the biggest one is when you're not used to marketing for consistent sales. sales,
Mhm.
but you also don't want to be salesy. This is a very common space that clients come to us in. So I would like to say that the way we teach marketing, like even the amount of marketing coaches I support that are like, I'm really good at marketing, but I'm not getting sales. I'm like, it's one thing to market, it's another thing to actually be able to get sales consistently. Love the way that we teach marketing. So when you're getting used to embodying this and like putting this into place when you're writing your copy, writing your captions, having call to actions, passively selling, just showing up in your mission, not just as a baby coach, but like somebody who's leading something, somebody who is an authority in their space, there's that adjustment period, right? We might be nailing it, but be in our minds and second guessing ourselves, which I often see. We might also be really new to that and need a little bit of those examples, or like, hey, notice how you did this here, but then you dropped it mid caption. Let's bring it back. Let's
Mhm.
shift the way we worded this. And it's just about these minor tweaks while you normalize how you show up in your mission, in your marketing. And I love when I open one of the chats, because we've got different cohorts, when I open one of the chats and I'm like seeing everybody sharing, like, what do you think of this? Like, oh my gosh, shared this reel with like so nervous, or about to share this, like, anything you would change. And other people are like, don't forget this part. Oh my gosh, remember this? We talked
Mhm.
about it on the call. And like, I'm like, you guys I'm not even needed in this conversation. You guys have mastered this so well that I'm not even needed anymore. I'm just here to be like, hell yes.
That's a beautiful thing. And that really
Yeah.
resonates with me too, because like I feel like in my own business, like I haven't got there yet. And that's the place that we all want to be is like, oh my God, my teachings work so well and the community that I built is so strong that it is now self-sufficient. It is this own
Yeah.
ecosystem where people are
Yeah.
getting the results that they're looking for. And my business model is so strong that it is generating revenue for me. And now all the work that I do is just like icing on the cake. So kudos to all of that and all the people in your mastermind that are experiencing that right now. I gotta get my guys into shape for sure. For sure. Because I want some of that. Definitely.
It's I don't know, it just also really supports the mission itself again, right? It's like, okay, right. I like this is results driven. This is supportive. Because even or our membership clients, sorry, like they have a community-led discussion. That's what we call it.
Mm.
And I still pop in and out, and we've got a little spot for me to go in and drop like little voice notes for them and like little gems that I think of. We've got all these like little spots in our thread, so to speak. And I'll pop in there too, in the feedback that they give each other and the way that they recognize each other and the way that they call each other up into like the identity that we already know that they're creating for themselves because we're in this together.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it comes, like, let it come, but like build the spaces that can support that.
Totally.
I think that's hard when you're constantly launching new offers, new offers, new offers. You don't really, you've got, yes, couple new sales, couple new sales, couple new sales, couple new sales, but are you building something that's community driven and that they can move up your business model and stay with you long term?
Totally. I mean, the analogy that comes to mind is like if you're building houses, like you could just
Yeah.
go build this house, go build that house, whatever. But if you really take the time to till the soil, build a farm, that's my dream house, surprise, surprise, somewhere it's like that's where you can really start your family. That's where you can really start having shipments of new resources come in, of people come from all over the world to come be a part of that thing where you are really grounded into. So to
Yeah.
translate that back into the business analogy, it's like you almost need to stick with one offer if you want to have that kind of longevity. It's like you can't create something like that. You can't create that powerful. Talk to us about being known for something, because I know that
Mm.
that's a big part of you always talk about it goes deeper than sales, it's representation. Talk to us about being known for a specific thing.
So when you are allowing yourself to be known for your mission, one, this comes from deep clarity. So if you're out there constantly just being like, okay, well, what's, Sally and Joey Ann doing because they're coaches in the same industry as me and like we do similar work, okay, they're doing I should do something. No, when you're like deeply rooted in, hey, this is what I'm doing in my world. This is what type of work I do and the outcomes I want to support others in creating. You can check yourself. Am I a representation of that, first of all? And if you're not, and you're wondering why you aren't getting sales, go there and clean that up. This is like the behind the scenes work. Like when I'm talking about being with clients outside of calls, like in Voxer, in communication, a lot of the times it's these little micro things.
Hmm.
But if you are fully aligned and in integrity with what you're teaching, it's so easy to represent it.
Yeah.
I can go, so it's Wednesday, so where am I going today? Getting my ass back to the spa At this point, I'm just going to own it. And
That's what you're talking about, right? You have to.
right? So I'm going to post something on my stories, I'm sure, of either the pool deck or the steam room or the sauna or the hot stones. Like, I'm sure something will get posted. I don't even have to put anything on it. And people are like, right, she's always talking about quality of life and how freedom is tied to that. And how when I clock out here at 1:30 today, that's why. It's actually for you and me. It's for all of us. It's not just because, oh, I want to make a ton of money so I can have the life of my dreams. No, I want to make money I feel good about making. And I know I feel good about it when it's results driven. And so to tie this back to like being known for something, it's like I wanted to be known for that, for quality of life from you and for me, for how to create actual freedom that supports impact and supports results and life change, right? Because I think most of us knew we were here to change the world, to impact collectively in some way, shape, or form. And we get really lost in that when we're operating from fear. So a lot of what I see is like actions rooted in fear. So to tie this again, coming back around, there's just so many components to
Bring
being
it
known
back.
for something. Yeah, bringing it back, bringing it back. You really want to check with yourself. Am I owning this? Am I allowing myself to be known for this mission? If you help people with mindset, for example, what have you done this week to help overcome a limiting belief, to overcome a setback that you maybe had? What are you doing in this human experience to support your mindset for success or for abundance or for the relationship of your dreams or whatever it is? Like, let us in. Can you represent it more? Can you allow yourself to be fully known for it? And I think it's the simplest way for sales. And if you think about anybody who is really working with big numbers in the industry, okay, they're selling 1 to 2 products. Their content is very consistent. Their messaging is very consistent, and they're constantly sending it home about their mission.
Mhm.
So, for example, even though I might not sell every day, I'm still sharing golden nuggets around quality of life, around freedom, around high ticket approaches, breaking up with low ticket, breaking up with chaos. A lot of what I'm sharing is still always coming back to the same thing. I'm not one day talking about like, oh, healing my acne and getting glowy skin, and then the next day trying to sell you on, I don't even know, like
You're like, I only sell one thing, it's freedom and quality of life.
but you know what I mean? Like how to find the man of your dreams. And then you see next month it's on gut health. And the next month it says, you're never actually building a community that wants what you represent and sell. And instead you're like, okay, well, this chunk of the community is all about, finding a man that leads you. This chunk of the community is all about glowy skin. This chunk of the community is all about gut health. My entire community is here for a very select few things. And they're things that mean so much to them and really drive them forward. So that's, to me, you want useful sales, represent what you're doing, allow yourself to be recognized for what you do. So that will take internal work, like you recognizing yourself, you allowing yourself to be known for it, you allowing yourself to be seen for it, but then showing up consistently for it, right? Sell it consistently, show it consistently, represent it consistently. A couple more examples just to kind of get you flowing of like, okay, well, where could I be doing this more for myself? If you are doing something in your life that you know is a part of your mission or part of why you run this mission, can you share it? So I use red light therapy every morning and every night. I live in Canada. We're losing sunlight here. Your girl's
Happy
biohacking, okay?
Thanksgiving.
Yep. So I will share that. And some days I share just the red light. And some days I might share the red light with a little truth bomb of like talking about quality of life or talking about how I love going to bed before 9 p.m. because I know that my energy is pouring into my mission the next day. And I didn't have a reality where that happened when I first started my business. I had to build for that. So just little nuggets. If you're sharing a meal prep, well, let us know. What are you meal prepping and what are you doing it for? And how is that going to support you this week? Whether it's to do with your hormones, whether it's to do with your gut health, whether it's to do with performance, energy, let us in.
Yeah.
There's so many things you're doing on a daily basis that you're not pulling the curtain back and letting people see because you're scared of being fully seen, but yet you want to be fully paid. You've got to bridge that gap. You have to bridge that gap. This is social media. We want to be social with you. We don't care about your grid being absolutely perfect. We don't care about, oh, only aesthetically pleasing photos on your stories. Like, let us in. Let us see you messy. Let us see you meal prep. Let us see your kitchen. Let us see what you're doing for yourself. Let us see what we could be doing when we reach that outcome so we can picture ourselves in it. And I'm going to wrap this up with one more final example because this is something I share a lot in the
Keep
membership.
going. This is fire.
I hope you're loving it. Let us know. Let us know if you're loving this. But I think about my kids a lot, obviously. I'm a mother,
As you should.
as I should. Huge red flag if I wasn't. Okay. Think about reading a book to a child. So even picture if you don't have kids, if you're not around kids a lot, picture yourself going into like a kindergarten classroom and you're sitting down with them and they're grabbing a book off the shelf and you're reading it and you're talking about, Callie just brought a book home. It was library day. It was all about Halloween. It was about a jack-o'-lantern. And we're reading it right away. Oh my goodness, mommy. Imagine we were there. Imagine that jack-o'-lantern was there at our house. Like, what would you do? And I'm prompting her imagination. You guys, we're all just a bunch of 5-year-olds reading a book about freaking Halloween, okay? We want proof. We want an opportunity to see ourselves there, to see ourselves at the outcome. So when you're representing something and you're pulling the curtain back and you're letting people see you with what they want to achieve, you are the manifested outcome. You are the manifested result that they're desiring. If you let them see it, let us see it. We close our eyes and we actually picture ourselves there. What does that do? Okay, well, that one instills more beliefs that it's possible. Two, puts us in an energy where we're going to take different actions to actually get there faster. So just through you doing that, you're collectively impacting your entire audience in them becoming leaders of their own life and making the decisions they need to make to take the actions they need to take to get where they want to go. So whether I'm just sharing the spa or I'm at the spa and I'm sharing how I had to build my business to support that, because hello, 4 years ago, I was not at the spa. Okay. I was burning myself out on back-to-back calls. I'm allowing you to close your eyes and be like, wow, okay, what would I do? What would I do with my afternoon off? Oh my gosh, imagine I spent, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoon at the spa. Imagine you're going there. I had a member from the membership reach out on my stories on the weekend because I talked about hiring a cleaner. My house is going up for sale. Anyways,
Congrats.
she's like, because we got the house, guys. Because she's like, I was actually wondering and closed my eyes and wondered, does Candace have a house cleaner? So just again, I want to give you these examples and truly pull the curtain back on my reality, on my life, my audience, what works, because it's truly what will make the biggest difference. Let them use their imagination. Let them see what the outcome is. Let them see you living it as a human being. As a human being. Let them feel you being alive. Let them see what that looks like and what that could experience would be like. And they're going to use their own imagination, their own alignment. If you're like, well, they might not do it like that. They're going to go there in their own mind anyways. Okay, I might not do it quite like that, but I'm going to do it like this. Or I might not be a meat eater, so maybe I would add this and this into my meal prep. They're going to go there on their own, but you're energetically like picking them up and putting them in that manifested outcome.
Yeah.
And it's way more powerful than any visualization exercise could ever be, in my opinion.
Yeah, wow. That's mind-blowing stuff right there. It really is like you're manifesting for them. And in that case, you're basically hitting on every touch point of the sales process of like, okay, they need to know who you are and they need to know what you sell. But it's like in the course of like an actual human connection through storytelling, instead of being like, here's the McDonald's poster on your windshield, come get this burger. It's just like, no, come to me. Come to me whenever you're ready. This is the life I'm living. This is what we do around here. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I have the best. Go for it.
Well, I was just gonna say that's when we're sharing that with clients, to watch their mind and their perspective shift of like, wait a minute, I don't have to offer them a free discovery call. I can actually just show them more of what's possible, meet their objections there instead of on singular calls and convince someone to buy. Your clients that come into your world, once you start to actually represent something and be a leader, are night and day types of humans. They're the types of clients that you're like, I want to serve you the rest of my life. Like this is an amazing relationship. They're showing up, they're getting results. Like it's beautiful. It's so clean.
It's truly, truly, truly. Yeah. So I just wanted to go ahead and share with mainly you, but also these guys too, of like, okay, so like I put up story sales, right? Converting work, great stuff. Not speaking down on that at all, but like, so I do relationship coaching, right? Dating coaching. What's stopping you from saying hello to the woman you're dying to meet, right? Stuff like that. Maybe get like 100 views, 200 views, something like that. I put up this, Haley and I just did a photo shoot because we stayed
It was cute as hell.
Yeah, we stayed in this boutique little Airbnb on a tiny, tiny island in Thailand. And she was just like, we should do a photo shoot. And I was like, I love that. Let me shut the laptop. Let's spend some quality time together. We took these photos and I put this photo up and I put breaking news. We're cute as shit, right? And so it's exactly what you said as far as the representation of like, okay, I'm selling relationship coaching, but instead of selling all the time, it's like, let them see the outcome in my own life, in the way that I move, in the way that I breathe, in the way that I speak, in the way that I act. And I put this up and it got like 950 views and like 25 plus likes. It was like 5 to 10 times more popular than my second most popular story I've ever done. I was like, huh. And then you just said that was yesterday. And then you just said this just now. And so I'm like, okay. I
First
guess
photo like it, by the
that's
way.
real.
I hit the heart. I hit the heart. Well,
Yeah,
I was
you're on
one of
there
those.
for sure.
I loved it because again, too, it's like obviously I'm not a man, but if I was a man and I was following you, I would be like, okay, well, what did you have to do to get her to be in a relationship where you both feel so safe, where you feel cute as shit, where you are cute as shit? Like, what did you have to do? Who did you have to be? And like, how do you guys act on a day to day? Is it really all that it's cracked up to be? Like, oh my gosh, they really are cute as shit. Oh, really? They really do have the time of their life. Like, this really is possible. Okay, I want this man to lead me. I want him to call me out, lead me, guide me, teach me what I don't yet know. And you didn't even have to hard sell me. You didn't have to
Yep.
blow up my
Yep.
DMs. You didn't have to
Yep.
reach out to me. You had to be the leader.
Be the person who represents the outcome that they desire.
Yeah.
That's Candaceism 101 right there.
Get it, folks.